Right, it's time for another review, and it's going to be a beer kit, but it's something a little bit different. It's an all-grain beer kit from Brewuk, and I decided to get this because I like the idea of it, and I wanted to try something else, and I kind of also wanted to buy it myself, see what I thought of it, because for me, there's a couple of people that know I brew and that, and their partners ask me, oh, how easy is it to get into, etc., etc. And I start going into details and they think, oh, it sounds expensive, and they don't know where to begin. Often some people they're not too keen on the kits, they want to go for the more technical side of it. And I saw these new kits on Brewuk and I thought I'd have to give that a crack, and then I could recommend them to people and that, because I think it's a great idea. And I kind of personally, for me, wish this had been around when I first started brewing, because I probably would have jumped to this before getting some of the other equipment that I initially got. It enables you to get into all grain brewing inexpensively before you decide to take the plunge. You might decide you like it and go on to sort of bigger things, or you might decide no, you want to stick with something else, or stick with what this is. Anyway, it's part of their new range. They kind of rebranded all their kits and their hops and whatnot, and it's called Crafty Brews, and they're stove toppers. And this one's a black IPA, which is 6% ABV, and it's going to make 4 litres. It says black as night but refreshing citrus ale. So basically, you get a kit which you can either get a refill pack, which will give you the kit with just the sort of the grain, the hops and whatnot, or you buy your initial pack, which has the equipment that you need as well. There are extra bit of equipment that you will need. Some are not essential. Some are, but most of the other equipment you've probably already got, kicking around in your house or whatnot. So you get a demijohn with it, and it's got the thermometer on the side, and that actually acts, the bottom or the top of the thermometer acts as level of where you're going to fill it up to as well. You also get a Siphon, one of them with the little clicker. You get a spirit thermometer, checks temperature, and an airlock and a bung. It's down there somewhere. And then your pack, your recipe pack. So obviously you get your grain pack, and the clever part is all your hops are weighed out into individual little bags. So this one's got hop 1, hop 2, hop 3, and hop 4. You get a packet of no rinse sanitizer, and you get a whole packet of yeast, of which you'll probably only need half or slightly less than that, I would have thought. The instructions are very, very detailed. They're fantastic. Aside from that, even on the Brewuk website, there is like a how-to video. So I probably won't do a how-to video as much. I'll show some of the process, the steps that I do, maybe without audio, and just put a little bit of dialogue over the top of it, because the video they've already got on their site does it a whole heap better, and it's filmed really, really well. So kind of, if you need that advice, check out that video first. The only extra things you're probably going to need would be a sieve, because you're going to strain your grains out, and also a funnel. You might have a funnel in the house already. You're obviously going to need some sugar, which you're going to have in your house for bottling, for priming your bottles, and also some pans. On here they say 2 10-litre pans. I've already got some stock pots, which I got when I initially started sort of extract brewing before I went to all grain. Some people might already have a couple of big kind of like crock pots or stove pots that they use for sort of soups or something like in the kitchen. And if you haven't, I think it's another worthwhile investment. They're not going to set you back very much money, and having 2 of them is excellent. Sometimes you get a set of 3 working up in different sizes. The idea being is you're going to mash in one of these, you're going to have your sparge water in the other, and you're going to sparge onto your grains into the other pot. So again, it's a worthwhile investment. If you haven't already got a pot of that kind of size in your kitchen already, you may find that you actually got that and you don't need to go out and buy it. And other than that, that is pretty much everything that you need to make that batch of beer. Obviously a lot of people say why go and buy that? It only makes 4 litres of beer. It's not the amount of beer. It allows you, I think, to get into all grain brewing, try it out, spending not a very lot of money, and see if you like it. And also, if you don't like it, you haven't got a lot of beer to drink, you haven't got a lot of beer to bottle. I think it's a great thing to be able to do, and it requires, less effort and less fuss if you're not 100% sure it's what you're going to do. And the equipment that you use to make it is going to be used for future brews, and even if you don't make beer again for that 4 litres, a demijohn you'll use for other things, wine or ciders or things like that, you're certainly going to get the use out of the equipment you get. The airlock will be used. Even the extra pack of the half pack of yeast that don't use in this kit, you can use in your next brew that you do, or one you start making up yourself. So it's time to review the Crafty Brew Black IPA, the stovetop kit that we brewed up. I did get a little bit of brew footage, but it wasn't the best, so it's probably not going to make its way into this video. But as I say, the video on the Brew UK website is far better than I could have produced on how to make the kit, and it really is as simple as the video makes it look. I think this has been in the bottle, I think 2 weeks now. It's slightly undercarbonated, but that's due to me having a little bit of trouble with carbonation issues lately, so I've played it on the safe side. But it is fantastic. I mean, it's clear as it can be, considering how black it is. It's black as midnight, but it's clean looking, especially when it was transferring out the demijohn. It smells instantly. It's fantastic. It's kind of real hoppy, what you expect from any commercial black IPA when you pick one up. I'm gonna dive in. It's really, really good. You get a massive punch up front of like citrusy notes. You get a little kind of almost like a little coffee note on the back, but predominantly for me a big hit of citrus up the front, and then quite a bitterness on the finish, which dries your mouth out quite cleanly but pulls you back in for the next one. And it is fantastic. What is so fantastic about it is when you consider that you've just done it on your kitchen stove. It's it hasn't took that much equipment to make a fantastic beer that will rival any commercial beer out there. And if you've done basic kits before, malt extract kits and that, and this is your first time doing all grain, you won't fail to be impressed by what you produce from this kit. I mean, I knocked mine together pretty much while I was cooking dinner for that evening as well, so that with the 2 pans, it was on the stove, the mash water was heating up, the grains were mashed in, I left that was left for an hour while everyone had dinner. At the end of dinner time, it was drained off, got ready for the boil, and a few hours that evening and it was done. Obviously bottling day is a lot easier because there's only a few bottles. I guess the only thing with getting a few bottles is when it tastes this great, it does make you think, wow, I need the next kit, or maybe you'd buy a bigger kit. But it is most definitely a great way of knowing or finding out if you're going to be into all grain. And when you taste the results of a kit like this, you're going to know if you're going to want to go down that path or not, because this tastes absolutely fantastic. It's great, it's really good actually. I think the carbonation is a bit better than I thought it was going to be. And the good thing is, with only having a few bottles, before you know it, they are gone, but then you are ready to brew your next one. Sometimes for me, when you have too much beer, trying to get through it can be a struggle, although you probably wouldn't struggle to get through a beer this good. Then you're ready to brew your next one. You could buy several kits at one time and kind of have them stacked up, because the demijohns take up very little room. Even if you have a fermenting fridge or you don't, you could stack them up and get at least 2 or 3 on the go at the same time. It's perfect. I can't recommend it enough. Like I say, I kind of wish smaller kits like this had been around before I started on my path to all grain. It wasn't so much like you had to buy the ingredients yourself and know what you needed, but with these kits everything is weighed out for you. You can't fail to go wrong. The instructions are perfectly laid out. The video on the Brew UK website, it's all there. So definitely check out the Stove Toppers on Brew UK. This is the black IPA, and it's a fantastic drop. Cheers.